Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley, and I'm going to be playing as the Empire versus Gobbo King fielding the Dark Elves. So we played a series of matches, and if you don't know, he's a really good player, and he probably outclasses me, and this is going to be a relatively quick fight, but I still wanted to show you nonetheless as it's an interesting one. So in terms of the matchup here, so usually you would expect Dark Elves are good at infantry. They tend to have a decent amount of armor. So as the Empire, you might expect them to bring a bunch of handgunners. So that's kind of what Gobbo King was thinking going into this match. So you'll notice he has a relatively small infantry corps, deciding not to invest too much in like armored units. So in that sense, he has Witch Elves, Sisters of the Singing Doom, and another Witch Elves. So a lot of kind of light units where it doesn't really matter if you're shooting at them with guns or not. I mean, they are what they are. And then he has a ton of cavalry, Cold One Knights, Cold One Knights, Cold One Knights. He has an additional unit of Dark Riders over there and Dark Riders over there. So quickly he's going to be able to surround me. Had I had a gun line, it's pretty self-evident that it would get just charged immediately and torn to shreds. In the back, he also has a Crone Hellebron on her chariot. As far as I know, I think it's still relatively broken. Does a ton of damage. It's hard to take off the battlefield. And then he also has Dread Spears and a Blaze of the Blood Queen Executioners. So very powerful force, pretty scary to deal with, and a sorceress with the Lore of Shadows coming forward. So what did I bring? Well, I wanted to shake things up a little bit when it came to the Empire. I figured I just wanted a couple tarpits, so I have some unbreakable units in the form of flagellants. So one on either flank, and then Sigmar's Sons. Don't expect them to do too much, but I just wanted like a little holding force. And then what I was planning on doing is bring cavalry, which you don't see too much for the Empire, but I wanted to bring that because I figured, if I could tarpit some of his guys on my flagellants and cheap units, I could come in and do a fair amount of damage with Reiksguard, Demis, and then also what I have running up through the front is going to be these Outriders with grenade launchers, which I know can do a lot of damage to units that are stuck in melee. So that's what I was hoping to do with these tarpits. Get the enemy stuck in there, hammer and anvil away with heavy cavalry, and then fire away with my Outriders with grenades and try and control the battlefield in that sense. In terms of lords, I also brought a Jade Wizard here to try and heal up some of my tarpits just to make them that much more sticky, and also heal up some of my Demigryph Knights with halberds, etc. In the kind of forefront, I have an Empire Captain and Boris Todbringer, both on a horse. I want to go kind of like more traditional medieval here. I didn't want to do anything fancy with like flying lords, etc. Just tried to make it a little bit more thematic there. And I have my other Outriders with grenades on that flank. So we'll see how the matchup goes. And yeah, I do have a single Free Company militia in the center. No handgunners here. Probably not the best pick, but figured it'd be kind of interesting. Anyways, I'm already going to get slowed down here. Good idea. Just the sorceress here for some decent control, slowing down my cavalry. And then I'm going to pull up and just start to plonk at his front lines. With a little bit of grenades there, just do a decent amount of damage. And then here I'm going to come in with my Reiksguard against his Witch Elves, totally unprepared for this. He's going to hit Enfeebling Foe, but it looks like I'm going to catch his Witch Elves on the march. So this is kind of the type of engagement that I was hoping to get in this battle. Just keep my infantry in the back kind of nice and pretty for the time being, and just come in here and get like just free kills on these Witch Elves. I think they did update it so the Witch Elves can't necessarily make you rampage immediately. So with a good hammer and anvil, or not even hammer and anvil, just a strike against them, you can get into a fair amount of damage and pull out. The question is, can I do that in time, and can I do that repeatedly enough to get rid of these Witch Elves? So it looks like thus far, I mean, the opening moves are going pretty well. Strike at one of them, and then I'm going to fire in with my Free Company militia. Again, I don't need armor piercing so much. I just need to put volleys downstream, or downrange, I should say. And with the low armor on these ladies, I mean, I think they do still have dodge, so it'll be a little hard to get at them. But yeah, just plonking away at their health, doing decently there. On this side, I have smashed into him with Empire Knights. The Dark Riders are not trading too well, especially since I got some early shots with my grenade launchers. It looks like I have Reiksguard as well, so I'm guarding the flanks decently. I do need to pull around these Outriders to try and shoot at the middle. Some grenades in those Witch Elves would do work. Meanwhile, over here, I've been getting a lot of damage onto these Cold One Knights. Looks like they're starting to answer. me, but not after being pretty severely bloodied here. So pretty happy with how this is going, but what I didn't see was his Vanguard deployed unit of Dark Riders coming swiftly into the back, and they're going to put an end to that. And yeah, I was hoping to pull back and retreat. Meanwhile, in the center, Shock Cavalry is trying to pull out here, and the Dark Elf force is in tow. I do come in and redeploy my Outriders, and we have cleaned up this flank, so I'm like, okay, all I have to do is retreat the center and just fire away with my grenades. But over here, this is where he comes out of nowhere, and he completely shuts down my Outriders. So what that means is the left flank has collapsed. So now I'm not left with much to do. I'm going to pull out here and try and get some more shots on. Oh god, crazy. Yeah, he's coming in on all flanks. I'm going to try and, like I said, do a little bit of the sandbagging, which is what I was intending here. Just hold the line and then maybe come back and hit him about with my cavalry. So in the center here comes the first sandbagging. My grenades are going to come in and land amongst these Witch Elves. It looks like something weird is going on with the grenades, with the angle here, where it's not really going to work out. And unfortunately, he does have some Cold War Knights coming around. So I do a fair amount of damage to those Blades of the Queen. I do have an answer to this with the Reiksguard. But yeah, actually able to shatter these Witch Elves. So this engagement doing okay. But these Flagellants just get absolutely murdered in that engagement. So let's see if I can tank them out. Over on this flank, my sandbagging is doing okay, considering I have 2 Lords here to try and support. And this is why I'm going to swing around with my Outriders to try and get in the back and fire tons of grenades into these blobs and try and disperse them, and then hopefully have some Empire forces still alive. The problem here is going to be that this cavalry contingent was victorious against my guys, and in doing so he's going to be able to wrap up around my flanks and really shut down whatever I have going on here. And yeah, just too much cavalry that I couldn't handle, not able to shut them down, and that my tarpits are just melting so quickly. The Empire Knights really can't trade with these Cold One Knights. I mean, we can watch a little bit of this. They are knightly orders, but yeah, they are going up against dinos, which is pretty scary. And yeah, here he goes, charging through with more Cold One Knights, and it's starting to get out of hand real quickly. The Crone gets into the middle, and my guys are going to be absolutely routed. The Demis were in here trying to do the damage against her, but, you know, nothing's really holding up to this crazy lord. My grenades that were trying to do something got caught here dealing with the sorceress. I am blowing up a couple of his guys, but yeah, everything was overwhelmed. And if you had looked at the timer, this whole battle in real time lasted about 4 minutes, I think. My Jade Wizard's getting run over, so it is not a good day for the Empire here. In sight of the Bretonnian allies, yeah, they were right to not join this battle. It was absolute bloodfest, a slaughter. Like I said, I mean, Gobbo King's a great player. Good composition here and totally outplayed me this battle. I think it brought a stupid build, but it was worthy of, like, trying. And you could see, in some instances it kind of worked. But yeah, the Dark Elves just run you over. And I didn't quite have much that could hold out against it. I think you do need something, some measure to keep them at bay. Probably need a net. If you're going to sandbag like this, you can't expect Flagellants to do anything but melt. You need something a little bit more sturdy in that sense, so probably would have done better with some actual handgunners and some nets in the mix. Yeah, that would have been super helpful. But anyways, that's a quick and dirty battle for you. Hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. Let's take a look at the stats here, see who raked up the kills. So he had a fairly small infantry body, but it still tore through my state troops and Flagellants, as you'd expect. So that's a decent amount of my guys just kind of wasted away. Cavalry did okay. I think my Outriders could have done a lot of work had they been allowed to, during that whole infantry fight, fire away, which is what I was planning on doing with my cavalry there, to seize the flanks and allow these guys to fire, and then do like a staggered retreat. But the good thinking on Gobbo King's part here, bringing a lot of cavalry, really helped him negate my tactics. And then after that, once my cavalry is negated, my infantry can't stand up. So yeah, that was fairly disappointing. The Crone here getting the most kills on her side, 9-9. So yeah, she's doing work. But that's it for this battle. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.